as part of this program, now like to turn your attention to reviewing some of the accomplishments and challenges of the past year. As has been stated, we have always placed economic growth and prosperity at the top of all of our advocacy activities. And the past 2 years have shown why that must continue to be a #1 priority for each and every level of government. We have seen what havoc a global health emergency can wreak upon even the strongest of economies. Imagine the toll had our governments not been tuned into pressing fiscal realities and held to task by leading business groups, including ours. I am pleased to report that this year, true to our focus on economic health and growth, we saw real progress on a high-profile advocacy file that is very much about strengthening budget programs, their values, and returns on investment. As noted by our chair, our long-standing call for MI to adopt a long-term infrastructure investment plan has been met with real success. And as you heard the Premier this morning, there will be a 3-year budget, and we hope that we can move in the very near future to 5-year budgets. And that's good for everyone, the taxpayer, the department, the provincial treasury, and certainly for industry. When our industry has the benefit of insight into what investment priorities in the future are, we can plan better. We can look at the necessary capital acquisitions. We can align with suppliers, and we can give our workers a sense of security of predictable, sustainable employment. That makes for stronger pricing in the market, which returns higher value for budgeted programs. 2021 was the second of 3 years of MI commitment to budgeting and flowing no less than $500 million annually for highways capital, including funds identified in the Economic Recovery Plan. It is clear, though, that we must ensure the provincial government makes good on its other commitment, which is to carry over any unexpended dollars to successive budgets. In 2021, the budget was underexpended by some $60 million, of which $49 million was saved due to competitive industry bidding. While $11 million in additional projects were tendered as a result of that saving, only $22.9 million of the under expenditure was carried into the 2021-22 highways capital budget. We have already begun discussions with the Premier's office on this important topic area. A budget set must be a budget spent. And with a highway and roads investment deficit in the vicinity of $9 billion, every available dollar must be mustered to addressing that challenge. At the municipal level, we continued our work to see strategic infrastructure planning become realities. For years, our industry has pressed for such strategies to sustainably fund the needs of municipal streets, roads, bridges, and water and wastewater infrastructure. And our call has been taken up by others in the business and related stakeholder communities. We were encouraged, for example, to see that the Urban Development Institute publicly called on Winnipeg to set out such a strategy, including identifying where growth in Winnipeg can occur and plotting the appropriate infrastructure investments to support that growth. It's budget time for City of Winnipeg, and we are meeting with individual councillors, including those within the budget working group. There is continued pressure on council to use the revenue reserves dedicated to annual local and regional streets to fund other programs. The message from our industry is clear. We support the ability of all residents to get to where they need to go by their chosen mode of transportation, including public transit, bicycle lanes, active transportation facilities. But funding those purposes cannot erode the capacity of the local and regional streets reserve to address a priority complaint of Winnipeggers, which continues to be the condition of their streets. In discussions with councillors and in submissions to the budget review process now before committee, we stress that what the city needs is to know what the condition of its streets, bridges, and other core infrastructure is. With that in hand, Winnipeg then needs a sustainable infrastructure investment strategy that is informed by the condition of the asset, with a reasonable timeline to address it and a funding plan adequate to the challenge. Other work this year includes working with the RM of Springfield on its draft zoning bylaw to ensure appropriate setbacks from property lines and applications for development in permitted uses do not require development agreements, and our discussions leave us hopeful. We have ongoing discussions with the WCB on the composition of the new Prevention Advisory Council, and those have gone well, and we anticipate and expect very good relations with WCB and Safe Work Manitoba to continue. The LSMO Outlet Channel project is proceeding, not nearly as fast as we had hoped, but discussions with Ottawa are progressing and federal approval and licenses are anticipated soon. We have made good progress in talks with MI to ensure that the scope, timing, and scheduling of the projects allow for competitive bids by Manitoba companies. And on a regional and national level, we have worked well with the Western Canada Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association, the Canadian Construction Association, and other national and regional stakeholder partners to collectively advocate for significant investment in trade corridors, and notably to champion a Western Canada Trade Gateway and Corridor Initiative. We are encouraged by the level of interest and the activities now planned and in place around this initiative. I note importantly that the above serves only to highlight the vast array of topics addressed, to which many more are added as the year emerges. It is important for me to conclude my remarks with this acknowledgement. None of the achievements, nor any of the plans looking forward mean anything without principled leadership from successive chairs and boards of directors, supported by committed, robust membership. I have witnessed that principled collaborative leadership now for 30 years as your president, having started with the MHCA on October 1, 1991. For that collective investment in success, in principle and support, I am very sincerely grateful, and I thank you.